Welcome to
Midnight Circle,
from your friends at House of Whimsical Terror,
a chat about spooky topics.
This week's topic is
scary dolls. Dolls are scary.
They are so scary to some people.
They are scary.
Yeah.
Dolls are scary. So historically, dolls have been around for thousands of years, right?
Of course, yes.
But there is an assumption that spirits attach themselves to objects, right? Mm-hmm. So it would make sense that there's haunted dolls.
Right, because it's like a vessel.
Yeah.
Like a human-looking vessel that some sort of spirit or something worse could inhabit.
Exactly. So here's something that I wonder, like, if you give someone a gift of a haunted doll, does the spirit go with the doll or does it stay with you?
It goes with the doll.
It's a scary thought, right?
Yeah, so don't give anyone a doll.
No. Well, don't worry, because I wouldn't, because I don't like dolls. They're scary. They're scary.
I love dolls.
So when I was young, this all started when I was young, because my grandmother gave me a life-size doll. Jeez. And I was probably 5 years old, and it was bigger than I was.
Oh, no.
And it would blink its eyes. They would whip it out of this package, because it's like supposed to be this fantastic gift. It was like Christmas or something. I don't know. And it blinked its eyes, and then it would walk when you pulled the string.
Oh, no.
But I never pulled the string, because the minute that my parents unwrapped it, I screamed until they took it away. And I mean, I screamed bloody murder.
Yep.
Like, I remember the trauma. It was traumatizing, right? This freaking scary doll.
Yeah.
So, that doll lived in the basement of our house for I don't know how long, because I never saw it again. And my poor grandmother, she never brought me another doll. No.
No, she learned her lesson.
Yeah, everyone did. No. So, in thinking about this topic, I was also realizing there's like a lot of horror movies. You know, if you enjoy such things that are about spooky dolls, there's Chucky, there's Trilogy of Terror, there's The Curse of Robert. And
is the Trilogy of Terror the one with Karen Black? Like, yeah,
from like the 1970s. Like,
that's one of the most terrifying.
Absolutely scarring,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That, like, if you haven't seen Trilogy of Terror, you need to look it up, because it was the 70s, and yet without CGI, terrifying, absolutely terrifying. But the one that intrigued me was The Curse of Robert. Because Robert is a haunted doll that I got to meet. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you look up Robert, the haunted doll.
He's one of the most famous haunted dolls.
He certainly is. He currently lives in his own exhibit at the East Martello Museum in Key West. And his history is that he was given to a man named Robert Eugene Otto, who then named the doll after himself.
So a doll was given to a grown man, or was he a child?
No, a child.
Okay.
And so Robert Eugene Otto ended up like growing up and becoming a writer and a painter and an artist. But his grandfather apparently brought this doll back from Germany in 1904.
Okay.
This is an old doll.
Yeah.
Right. So 1904, he gives it to his little grandson, Robert Eugene Otto, and Robert Otto names the doll Robert, but they actually called the boy Gene. Right. So anyway, this doll that he received in 1904 lived in the Otto's home until 1974, when Robert Eugene Gene Otto died. Okay, so he had this doll in his home his entire life.
Okay.
Yeah, and so in 1994 it was actually donated to the East Martello Museum in Key West. So according to the legend of Robert the Haunted Doll, Robert had supernatural powers, right? So he could change his facial expressions, and he could giggle. And the servants in the home...
no.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
And the servants in the home would recall hearing young Otto speaking with Robert when he was playing, and hearing the doll responding back. And now I'm hearing weird noises in my house.
Yeah, we just heard weird noise. Some of the weird noises are the Doberman, but that was not.
Wasn't it?
It was a weird, like, clacking sound.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Who knows? It's probably Walter. So anyway, his servants would hear the doll speaking back. So then other times, Otto's parents, the little boy's parents, would find him screaming in bed in the middle of the night. And when they entered the room, they would find like all the furniture overturned.
What?
And the boy would blame Robert, the doll.
Of course.
So soon after, they actually started finding mutilated toys.
Oh, jeez.
Right? Scary. And those, the young boy also blamed on Robert, the doll, the mutilated toys.
Mm-mm.
So that was scary enough, but it wasn't scary enough because the reason that the doll had these abilities was because the little boy blamed all of his mishaps on the doll. So they believed that that is what brought Robert to life. And the community itself believed that the doll caused accidents, injuries, and other misfortunes to those that he didn't like. Right?
So that's which came first, the chicken or the egg?
Yeah. Afraid so.
Okay.
Afraid so. So when you go to meet Robert, I'll talk about that in just a minute. It's quite an experience. But Otto actually eventually got married. The young boy grew up, he got married, and his wife really hated the doll, really disliked the doll. And so some people believe that she died of insanity because she locked the doll in the attic of the house.
Oh, that poor woman.
Yeah. So, yeah, wow. Should have been a red flag really right from the beginning. I wonder if Robert was the best man at the wedding. Didn't you? I do wonder that.
Yeah.
So when you visit Robert today, you go into the museum and he is actually in a protected glass case because he's over 100 years old. And he's reclining in a chair and he has like a little bear that he holds onto. And he's in a little sailor suit that supposedly belonged to Robert Eugene Otto, right, his little boy. But when you see him, he's kind of reclining there with his little sailor hat on. And if you want to take a photo of him, you have to ask his permission. So that's the doll's permission to take a photo. Because if you don't ask his permission, then he will cast a curse on you.
Oh, Lord.
Right? So if you go to this museum, you will see that they have cards and letters, and the walls are filled with stories from visitors that experience misfortune after taking a photo without asking.
Oh, I will not be taking a photo with permission or without. Right. No.
So when you go there, you can read these stories, and it's basically these people, these cards and letters, they're begging Robert for forgiveness.
Good Lord.
It's really eerie, and there's hundreds and hundreds of them.
No.
So when I was there, we were all standing in a circle around Robert, and then my spouse was next to me, and she goes, "What do you want?" And I was like, "What? What do you mean?" And she said that she felt something pull on the camera strap that she had hanging on her shoulder.
Gosh.
And she thought it was me, but it was not me.
It was the narcissist, otherwise known as Robert.
The haunted doll. So a few minutes later, she felt something grab her by the hand also, and she was like, right? And I did take photos of Robert, but I did ask his permission. And then I also took photos of the building outside. So if you go to the East Martello Museum in Key West, take photos of the building outside, because there were just thousands, and I mean thousands of orbs in my photos.
Whoa.
Like they were obscuring the building itself. There were so many. So yeah. So if you go to Key West, visit Robert, but always ask his permission for pictures.
I don't even think I'm going to go visit. He sounds like he's not a very nice person.
Well,
or thing, entity. Ugh. Well,
I haven't had any misfortunes, so.
Mary found this super creepy story.
Yeah.
That takes place in Texas.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So there's like this 40-mile stretch of beach from North Padre Island to Matagorda Island. And it has all of these dolls that
just
wash up. And they look terrifying.
Yeah.
Like people go there and I guess, find the dolls and post pictures, and they're horrific. And no one knows why there's so many dolls.
No, there's no answer.
Yeah. And the pictures, like we were looking at the pictures, and they're all kind of different from different eras, which is super creepy.
Super creepy or scary dolls.
Yeah. Because they're not like all from one factory. Some of them look like they're from, I mean, one of them to me looks like it's from like the 1930s or 40s.
Exactly.
And then others look new.
And they're creepy.
They're scary. Creepy.
And there's like pictures of people holding them up. Yeah. And I'm like, I wouldn't even touch these scary dolls. What's wrong with you?
But I guess
what's wrong with you people?
These are people who kind of clean up that area. So they are, and people buy them, which is interesting.
Yeah.
They will post them and then someone will offer to buy them. One person who's cleaning up that area donated the money that someone paid for the doll to conservation, which is amazing.
It is.
Yeah, and they've got like all these things stuck to them, like barnacles and crustaceans and other weird.
It's weird, right? Like they've been out in the ocean for a really long time, and then they just pop up on the beach in Texas. Because anything's possible in Texas, really. People just admit it.
Yeah, Texas is like, go big or go home, and
there you go.
They have roughly 10 times the amount of trash found on other Gulf of Mexico beaches.
Yeah. Full of dolls, scary dolls.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, part of that maybe isn't their fault. It's the loop current.
Yeah.
That extends from the Yucatan Peninsula to Florida.
Yeah, and it just kind of does.
It pushes all the debris toward
But oddly,
Texas.
all the dolls end up there.
That's so weird.
So, super weird. And also, if you're into scary doll tourism, there's the island of the dolls in Mexico.
Oh, I've heard about
La
this.
Isla de las Muñecas.
So weird.
And it's a small island that you can visit. It's right near Mexico City, of course. And it's believed that a young girl drowned in a canal there. And then after her body was found, a doll then floated by and in the water. And the man that actually lived on the island, he thought, well, I better hang this doll from a tree to appease the spirits. So he did. And then over time, he felt like he was compelled to hang more and more dolls. And he hung up dolls he found, and he hung up doll parts, and he hung more than 50 dolls. And the man's family was like unsure if any of this story was even true, but if you go there, visitors actually also bring dolls to the island, and it's just super, super spooky, scary shrine that you can visit. Like some paranormal investigators have gone there and done shows and stuff about it. But Island of the Dolls in Mexico, super scary doll tourism. Scary doll tourism.
Doll tourism.
Yeah. Do you think you get a job as like a scary doll tourism agent?
You wouldn't, because you're terrified of dolls.
No, I probably wouldn't. No.
I might, but
self-directed
these
tours.
Particular dolls, who knows?
Yeah.
Like what's attracted to them. Julie, who is, is our friend, had a doll that is named Priscilla. It actually wasn't her doll. It was your Tia Lola's doll. And Lola had a doll that was, about the size of a 5-year-old.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And she still, to this day, changes her clothing for the season. Like, Priscilla gets a new outfit.
Lola changes oh, wow.
Yeah. I love Tia Lola. I have to say this.
She's eccentric.
She's not very eccentric, except when it comes to
the doll.
The doll, Priscilla, and she'll change her clothing for winter, spring, summer, fall.
I love that. We could introduce the doll to Robert.
Ooh, yeah, no.
Would that be terrifying?
Let's not do that.
Okay.
But yeah, Julie says that she would see the doll move on her own.
I believe that.
The doll would.
It's scary.
Yeah. And she was terrified of it. She would, stay out of any room that Priscilla was in. Kind of like my doll, which is photographed and is the cover of this episode. So if you want to see Beverly, I named her after my Aunt Beverly, who gave her to me. And she is, I think she's beautiful, but
everyone has always been scared of Beverly Esther. Like how long have you had Beverly? Like the whole time?
Beverly since I was like 5 or 6.
Yeah, everyone's scared of her.
I love her. She's gone everywhere with me. My brother, who's this, amazing, fearless
warrior.
Yeah, warrior and cyclist and all the things, whose nickname is Beast, is, not afraid of anything.
Except
Beverly.
Beverly's pretty spooky.
She's pretty spooky, I guess. I don't know. I don't see her as spooky, but yeah, she's awesome. We have a friend, Jeanette, who her daughter was afraid of all the dolls. You know, she only has one daughter and got her all these gorgeous, amazing dolls. And one day she went in and saw her daughter had put towels over all of the dolls that were kind of, you know, beautifully arranged by, you know, our friend had arranged all of her daughter's dolls in this beautiful way. And there were so many of them. And she covered them up. And when our friend went in and said, you know, why did you cover all your dolls? And she said, because I don't like what they're saying.
Oh.
And she was like, what are they saying? And she said, they don't like me and they're really mad when you wash their clothes. So she would wash the dolls' clothing and undress them. And one day she went in and none of the dolls were there. They were all in the closet. And she asked her daughter what's going on. And she said, they're really mad because you took their clothes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
this poor child was terrorized.
Terrorized by dolls.
By her own dolls.
See what I'm saying? Scary. Dolls are scary.
Dolls are.
They are.
We'd love to hear your doll stories.
Absolutely. So, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, leave us a story or a comment on this week's topic, scary dolls, at House of Whimsical Terror on Insta, Facebook, or Podbean. We want to read your stories too, and I think you would like to read each other's. So please engage with us. We would love that.
We sure would. All right. We'll see you later.